Well, well, well. Well, enjoying a little coffee here, afternoon coffee, and watching and just kind of processing what we witnessed during the stage 19 and the whole cancellation thing. I don't think anybody could predict it. Any one of the fans, any one of the analysts, any one of the people making predictions would not have ever predicted that Thibaut Pinot was going to be out of the tour. Now, this single handedly, more than the weather, opened up the race and changed the race in a significant way. So, this, not the weather, was the most significant factor in Team Ineos's success and the ultimate fall of the yellow jersey. But definitely stay tuned for my full recap of the stage 19th, certainly unexpected outcome and events. But I wanted to first preview tomorrow's stage, the final stage in the Alps, and basically the stage that will decide this year's Tour de France. And I'm really hoping for the riders to really take chances because for the few of them, I don't think they will ever get another chance, the crack at the tour, the way this tour has been and the way it's been opened. Team Ineos certainly has cracks in the armor, and I'm really hoping that somebody can exploit that. Now, with that said, of course, they arguably have right now the strongest climber. I'm not sure if it's even arguable the strongest climber in a race, but stranger things have happened, and there are points at the stage tomorrow where Bernal's weaknesses could be exposed. And there's specifically one key to the stage tomorrow where Bernal could get in trouble because the weather is going to be different. It's going to be cold and it's going to be rainy. And it's just my hope that they will not cancel the stage, change the stage, or shorten the stage in any way. So, just to quickly do some homework, it's tomorrow's stage is 130 kilometers long, so another punchy stage, right? By the way, it was very unfortunate what happened today. I think every one of us wanted to see what would have happened on a descent to the bottom of Tignes and on the climb itself. But unfortunately, it was a right decision. The question is whether it was the right decision for where to take time gaps. So tomorrow, 130 kilometers. The weather at the start is going to be pretty hot. It's going to be 77 degrees Fahrenheit and humid. But by the mid of the stage, it's going to be only high 50s, right? Low 60s, high 50s, and pretty much a rain, light wind, and a thunder on and off all stage long. So, I think we're in for an animated stage, and I really don't think Ineos will be able. They're going to try, but I really don't think Ineos will be able to control the race if the other teams decide to ride, and they really need to. They really need to attack tomorrow because, the Tour de France is still at their grasp, right? I'm not sure if if Alaphilippe, right? I'm also not sure if Kreiswick or if Bookman will get another shot at the Tour. They are close. Kreiswick is a minute and 15 away. Alaphilippe is still not really announced, but I reckon he's about 40-45 seconds of the yellow jersey. So there are still chances. Hold your horses. I hope tomorrow is not boring. And by this preview, I'm going to show you where exactly is the place to change the outcome of this tour should they decide to attack. So Tomorrow, first climb of the day, Col du Roseland, right? It is officially on the profile. It is 19.9 kilometers long. It has a 6% average slope, which of course is very deceiving because when we actually take a look at Col de Roseland in detail, uh, it's actually a lot harder than 6%. The 3 kilometers in the middle are flat. They're at 0.0. So there's no gain or there's no gradient on the climb, or 0.5. So 3 kilometers of that, I'm sorry, kilometer and a half, right? Because it goes by this profile goes by 500 yards. 1 kilometer and a half have no gain, which actually lowers the average gradient. But looking at it, it's got three distinctive hard parts, right? Bottom section, 3 kilometers of it is at 7.6%. So, they only got 15 or 10 kilometers before they're just going to start going up. So they don't really have, much before the major climb of the day starts. So I'm expecting them to really go to try to form an early breakaway already right here on those early slopes of Col de Roseland. Um, um, I mean, it's really hard to say how it's going to go tomorrow. But I'm still thinking the big climbers are going to be out early to kind of the last chance to get their last chance fighting for the stage win tomorrow. Early, the first part of the climb, I'm looking at, again, 3 kilometers at 7.6%, steeper than the profile suggests from the Tour de France book. There is a 250-meter section at 9%. Okay, 250 at 10%. There's a 100-meter section at 9%. So pretty hard. The middle section, though, is where all the action will take place for the early breakaway to form. The riders will be kind of all over the road like today. So first few kilometers of the climb, 70% of a peloton is already destroyed if they really ride. That middle section is the hardest. It is very long, and it is 7 kilometers, that middle section. It averages 8%. So pretty hard, enough to make a big difference. 1.2 kilometers of that is at 9%, so even harder. 200 meters of that middle section of the climb is at 10%. So you talking from kilometer 15.5 to go to the top of the climb to a kilometer about 8.5 to go. It's pretty much very hard slope and very demanding climb. Again, 1.2 kilometers at 9%. That's a good section to make a difference right there. Remember, Alaphilippe got in trouble on the Galibier, the last kilometer of a Galibier, which was at 9%. Alaphilippe today got in trouble on the middle section of the Lizarad, which Lizarad was actually at 9% too. So it seems like it's an extended 9%, 8% sections which get Alaphilippe in trouble, right? Later on the stage. That's what it seems like. It takes about 9% for, 8.5%, 9% to get him in trouble for extended amount of time. Now, there is a section towards the top, so then after the middle section, it flattens out for about 1.5 kilometers. You really get a flat road, right? This is what lowers the gradient of the of the climb. But then the section towards the end, right? The last kilometer and a half is easy, but the section before that is actually very hard. So we have a 3.5 kilometer section between kilometer 5 and kilometer 1.5 to go to the top. And we have 2 kilometers at 8.2%. So definitely you can make a difference there. 150 meters at 9.2%. Now, tomorrow, the keys to this stage are going to be descents because they're going to be dangerous. The road is going to be wet, right? It's certainly in the second part of this stage, but I'm thinking by the time of the Col de Roseland, it's already going to be probably raining by the top, right? So the descent has two fairly technical parts. One in the beginning, one type of, uh, one, there's a village called Samaris. Right before Samaris, it gets really technical. It's got, I counted the harpins, it's got actually 11 harpins. So, it certainly get pretty technical there. And so Berg Saint-Maurice, that comes at 55 kilometers into the stage. So that's off the Col de Roseland. So that would put us at about 75K from the finish, still pretty far. A lot of flat road is coming up. There's a valley in between the two climbs. So up around 70, 69, there's a 14-kilometer valley that follows up until the next climb of the day, which is a Category 2 Côte de Longue Foy. And, I know I've already read quotes from Alaphilippe that he doesn't think he can get the jersey back. I've already read quotes that he tried the hardest. It seems pretty defeatist, right? But I'm not sure if he's bluffing or he's really, telling the truth. Because Côte de Longue Foy, to me, right, is where Alaphilippe could put somebody like Bernal in trouble. It's a short, steep, fairly punchy climb, but the descent of the Côte de Longue Foy is where Alaphilippe should try to make the difference, right? So maybe, I'm sure that'll come up in the planning of the stage when they'll look at the stage in detail today for the König, but maybe on the ascent, right, on the climb, they could really, hit him, and then on the bottom, just coming down, take all the risks that you can, and there is enough there. It's probably the most technical descent in this year's Tour de France. And on on there you could gain 40-45 seconds, and then you have the valley and a Val Thorens climb starts. So certainly many things could happen tomorrow, and as we saw today, Bernal is not really the best descender in this group, right? We saw Simon Yates catch back to him after being distanced at the top of the Liserade. Kreiswick is not really a great descender either. So is Thomas. So Alaphilippe has not only a yellow jersey to play for, but he also has top 3 to play for. And this could be a place, if there is going to be attack, this is going to be the place where Alaphilippe will go. So, in terms of Longue Foy, Col de Longue Foy, Category 2, it goes up to 1,190 meters, medium mountain, 6.6 kilometers at 6.5%. I've looked at this climb in detail, right? In detail, and I looked at the profile, and when we look at the profile, it gets really interesting because the first kilometer is at 8%. Okay, it is only 6 kilometers long. It's the other 600 meters is pretty much flat, so it doesn't really count, right? But it's also a lot steeper than 6.5%. That last 600 meters that they counted really lowers the gradients of the climb. So 6 kilometers is pretty good for Alaphilippe, okay? Pretty good for him. And as you saw, really Bernal, I'm not sure if he likes that kind of a, short, punchy effort. 6 kilometers is kind of what the climbs were by, Plaine de Banche, right? Plateau de Belle. Whichever way you pronounce it, it's kind of that kind of climb, obviously without the crazy gradient. So, first kilometer, 8%. Second kilometer, 7%. Third kilometer, 7. Now look at this. Third kilometer, right? 9.1%. And fourth kilometer, 7.4. This is where the difference could be made. This is not the difference, but at least an attack, right? This is where the attack could be made over the top. Now, several hard parts. I looked at the third kilometer, and it averages 9.1, but it has a long section of 10%. The entire 4 kilometers average 7.5%. And of course, the first kilometer averages the 8. Now, the descent of the long Geoffroy, would be where this difference could be made and where Bernal could get in trouble on the descent, and somebody could actually crash very heavily. Now, the entire descent is actually very fast, very quick. The bottom part of it, once they actually see the stream for the second time, is where it's going to get super technical. I counted 33 harpins. 33 harpins in 4.2 kilometers. 33 harpins, right? Very technical. Not only this, the road is very narrow. It goes through the woods. If it's raining, then we have all kinds of pellet, all kinds of stuff out on the road. And the key to this part of the stage is that the asphalt is not very good. It has a lot of covered up potholes. The surface changes all the time, from the new patched up work to something very nice that's been obviously repaved for the tour, to again a terrible old kind of surface with a lot of cracks and a lot of gravel and some sand. So expect somebody to make a mistake there. And if Alaphilippe goes, right, he's clearly not the best climber, but he could force the difference on the Longue Foy, and he could extend his advantage down and force somebody to chase. And who's going to chase? Well, who's going to chase is Team INOES is going to chase, and somebody may make a mistake, right? If they go actually pretty hard on the Roseland, right, and if he goes really hard on the Longue Foy, that might put INOES in trouble, and they'll probably leave only one guy up front to lead the chase. And who will lead the chase? Probably Wout Poels will be in, still with the GC group of favorites, and Wout Poels and probably Geraint Thomas will be setting that pace, right, to chase. The question is whether Kruijswijk and SEO will help, or they will just kind of wait, because now you have INOES chasing, which by the time they get to Val Thorens, exploits their energy and their strength. So Kruijswijk might back off and just follow the wheels. So we'll see how this plays out. But this is the key to the stage right here, right? That descent, that climb, right, suits Alaphilippe, suits his descending skills, suits his climbing skills. So watch for Alaphilippe if he's going to try anything, right? And I know what they've said on the press, but if he's going to try anything, he's going to go right here. Now, The final climb, right? There's a short, once you get off the descent from the Col de la Longue Foy, there's a short valley road, and that's probably not even 10 kilometers. It's about 8 kilometers, and then we get to the bottom of the climb, 33 kilometers. 33 kilometers. Is gonna the final climb is. It's an order category climb. It's that'll bring us to 2,365 meters, right? 33.4 kilometers at 5.5% average, which is again very deceiving because a couple of flat sections separating the hard sections, just like with Col Roseland, right? We'll see how the race is played up to now. But I really, if I was the team of sportif, go for glory, go for glory. Maybe that's why I'm not a director sportif, but whatever. So anyway, right to the bottom of it, right? And that brings us to 2,365 meters. Now, the temperature is going to be a key tomorrow because although Bernal obviously hails from a place that's 2,600 meters above the sea level. It's a different climate, right? And tomorrow they may be even expecting high 40s towards the end of the climb. And the climb, Val Thorens is, as you know, the highest placed ski resort in Europe at 2,400 meters. Right, 2,400 meters. That's 7,500 feet. Right, about 7,700 feet above the sea level. So so we'll see how this weather tomorrow will affect Bernal, right? And again, it would have been really interesting to see if they would have gone to the finish to see what kind of effort Bernal would have made on the final climb. And how would have that effort affected his chances for tomorrow's stage 20? So, final climb of the day, the 33-kilometer order category beast. Okay, it has several hard parts. Okay, bottom of the climb is the hardest. Okay. Looking at the detailed profile right now, the bottom of it is the hardest. Okay, 5 kilometers at 8% of an average, and this is where the battle will kind of commence for the yellow jersey and for the placings for the top 3, and also for the top 10 placings right there. 1 kilometer at 9.5, right? Oof, that's hard, right? At this stage in the race. 1 full kilometer at 9.5% within the 5 kilometer section. 200 meters at 11%, okay? So this is the hardest part. Now the climb actually, it's almost like stairs, right? It goes steep, then it flattens out, then it goes steep again, flattens out, and steep again. Right, so consider it like stairs, and there is some time for recovery, but the sheer size of the climb. I mean, I counted 23 kilometers of actually really serious climbing in that 33.5 kilometers. So enough to make up all the difference in the world. With that said, only the beginning of the climb favors a pure climber. So it's more of a climb for somebody like Geraint Thomas and somebody like Kruijswijk, right? Somebody that can hold. The climb is very hard, but it's pretty regular, right? In terms of the whole gradients. You do have steps, but it never really, beyond the first part, gets past 7.5%. You got several 8% pitches, but that's about it. So it has 3 middle sections, 3 shorter middle sections, right? The first middle section averages, and that would be 2.5 kilometers. Okay, it is all over 7.2%. with an 8% section. Then the second middle section is 3.5 kilometers. Again, stayers, flattens out and goes up again. 3.5 kilometers at 7.5%, with 500 meters at 8%. The third section is 2.5 kilometers at 7.5%, with 500 meters at 8%. So a little bit more, steadier here, right? Now the final, right? The finale, right? Once we get to 8 kilometers from the finish, the stayers end, and it's literally flat out climb to the finish for 8 kilometers. Okay. And this averages between 6.5 and 7%. So steady, regular, not easy, hard, but regular climbing up, which may favor actually somebody, a climber like a power rider like Geraint Thomas or Stephen Kreiswick. So it's going to be interesting how this plays out, right? For the team tactics, right? There's no doubt that Team INOES will attempt to control the race. Okay, the big question is if the other teams are already defeated, if they've already conceded the Tour de France, after the second Alpine stage, after the stage 19 today, or they're going to do everything in their power, right, to actually win the Tour. And that is the biggest question, right? Team INOES controls it early. The early break goes, okay? And then who's going to be the one that's going to take out and animate the action? I'm expecting movie stars to animate tomorrow, right? And I'm expecting to see if Jumbo, right, if Alaphilippe doesn't go on the middle climb to make a difference on Longuefoy, on the descent of the Longuefoy, I want to see if Jumbo will try to do something on the bottom of Val Thorens and kind of see if they can take it all the way up to that long finishing straight, 8 kilometers at a steady gradient of 6.5 to 7%. It's going to be a process of elimination tomorrow. In terms of Alaphilippe chance, right? What are his chances? I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, against all odds, right? He probably should attack. But then when you really think about it, I mean, he also probably won't get another chance at finishing top 3 in the Tour de France. It all depends. It all depends how he develops as a rider. Now he believes that he could do something in the Tour de France. And pretty much he's won, he's already won about every classic possible, right? For his abilities. So, we'll have to see how he develops, all right? But if I were him, I would just go for glory. I mean, coming in third and second in the Tour de France is very nice. It's awesome. It's a memorable thing. But winning a Tour de France is another level, right? So, especially when you have this dangerous descent and something that he really excels in, I would hope that he would attack, right? Now, everything he has said, right, everything that his team said, look like he's conceding the battle. The question is if he really feels that way, or he really feels that way because he doesn't know the road yet, which he'll know by tonight, or he's just bluffing. We'll just have to see. Okay. Tactics tomorrow. Key a place for the stage is the Col de Longuefoy and a descent of that, the bottom of Val Thorens as well. Key to the stage tomorrow is going to be weather, right? It's going to be the worst in the whole tour, right? Expect high 40s by the time we finish. Expect 50s through the climb of Val Thorens and 60 on the descent of the Col de Longuefoy. What else? Again, Alaphilippe, if he decides to have a crack, he should probably make alliances, right? Now we have FDJ that's actually has been freed. The riders have been freed from Thibaut Pinot abandoning, so they're going to be all over the road tomorrow together with AGR. Who knows, right? I mean, we really, really don't know. For the early breakaway, the usual guys, AGR2, Astana movie stars are going to be on the attack. There's going to be new team looking for glory. FDJ is going to be on an attack. I'm expecting maybe one or two CCCs, but they won't win because it's a long climb and they just don't have a GC guy or climber. Now, also, Simon Yates is definitely going to be up there. Vincenzo Nibali, Dan Martin, if he has the legs. Warren Barguil is going to be there. Nairo Quintana might go early to try to get something in the top 10. Expect maybe Molema or Ciccioni if they have legs. Julien Marin, Xandro Maurice, maybe even Roberto Uran might have a crack at going early. What else? I would probably expect Badret to keep the polka dot jersey tomorrow, even though there is a challenge from Caruso. Okay? And tomorrow at the bottom of Val Thorens, I'm probably be expecting the stage to be contested between guys like Badret, who really, really wants a stage win, right? Warren Barguil, same thing. I'm also expecting Gadou, the young French climber from FDJ, being released from his duties for supporting Thibaut Pinot, to be up there. Henrik Mas, Simon Yates. Simon Yates probably be one of my favorites for tomorrow. Nairo Quintana and Alejandro Valverde if he has legs. So I'm expecting early guys to go. Vincenzo Nibali as well. Maybe Dan Martin and maybe Molema, right? I'm expecting maybe Landa have a crack tomorrow. It's always entertaining how this goes. So I don't think Landa will get in a break early, but I think Landa will definitely attack on the bottom of Val Thorens, because I don't think, again, INOES is strong enough, just like how they showed today, that they're not strong enough to take it from the beginning to the end. Okay? All right. As far as my final prediction for the stage, I think it's going to be, it could be Simon Yates, it could be Badret, could be Warren Barguil or Vincenzo Nibali. I think the break will get too far for the main favorites to catch back. On the yellow jersey, boy, I have no idea. The hunch is that Bernal keeps his jersey. The hunch is that Alaphilippe probably won't attack on the Longue Foy. But this has been a really strange Tour de France, and I'm really, really hoping for him, for the fans, for the team, for everything else, that he recognizes that chance, right, Alaphilippe and De Koning, and at least gives us a serious battle on the slopes of Col de Longue Foy and on a dangerous descent off that col. Let's hope. All right, guys, thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoyed the preview. Can't wait for tomorrow already. Hopefully you're riding. I'm definitely going to go out there. I rode yesterday for 30 miles. Did not feel very good. All right. I think I went way too hard in the beginning of, got too excited and went way too hard at the beginning of the ride. And then on my little climbs, I did not feel well at all. I was really suffering with lactic acid. But hopefully you're out there and you're riding, you're improving. Yeah, if you like the stage, hit like. If if you really like the channel, hit subscribe. It only helps with the growth of the channel, and we can maybe do these videos for the remainder of the year and take it into the next year for different World Tour, Pro Tour races, and World Championship. And yeah, as always, I love the comments. Right, thank you for all the comments out there from Denmark and from everywhere else, and I appreciate it. And yeah, just give me your predictions on the comments. Give me your thoughts, and give me pretty much your yellow jersey predictions and the stage winner predictions for tomorrow. All right, thank you guys. Take care.